Yo, what up everyone? Thank you for coming. It's good to see so many people coming to talk about Zim Hip Hop. Good to talk about problems and stuff, so I thought maybe let's talk about some evidence-based ways that the business has managed to be successful in my life. I'm a 30-year-old man, I own property, I run a good business with a bunch of young dudes, and most of the people that surround me are hip-hop. When I started doing the rap thing, we're talking 1988, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm an old-ass nigga, right? The first band I was in a band with a young dude named Zubs. You probably know Zubs. We were in a rap group called Hardcore. This is many, many years ago. Some of you were not born yet. Now, except Munetsi. Oh. Okay. Now, in those good old days, the Munetsi will be able to, I'm using him as a reference because we were part of the same record label at the time called Fearless Records. Now, in those days, Munetsi found it very difficult to find places to perform. We, on the other hand, found it very easy to perform because we tapped into 99% of the Zimbabwean population, which is the Christian population. So we toured constantly. We were at every YP, every single church. Literally every weekend we could be 4 or 5 different places. I think Mudi was sitting in the crowd now. He can probably vouch for the fact that the Zimbabwe Christian community actually has got a lot of hip-hop loving kids, and then so we made it actually a viable business when we were very young. By the time I left for the UK, I'll give you my second example of how I made money. The second example was when I signed a young kid. His name was Charisma. I found him at 14, probably dealing drugs or something at the corner in South End. Now he's the product of that wave of young mothers, you know, when his father passed, who left Zimbabwe and went to the UK. And these are the young Zimbabwean kids who had a remembrance of home, but were now becoming British-sized. We went 100% independent. Everything was independent. There was no. This was just when Napster was hitting. There was no Facebook, there was no MySpace, there was nothing in those days. We recorded the entire album. Our first album called Pen and Lighter in my daughter's bedroom in Essex. He used to get on a train for 2 hours to come to my house. We did 10,000 units of CDs at 10 pounds a pop out of the back of my Nissan Micra. And in those days, that was hard because we were going up against people like So Solid Crew. This is in London, right? But we managed to sell every single one of those copies. This is why this young man is who he is today, why he's in university doing the degrees he's doing. He's done nothing else in his entire life except hip-hop, in his entire life. And now I'm fast-forwarding 2016. I'm fast forwarding 2016, I see my brother there. He's the one who edited the Shisha Pipe video for Charisma, which made MTV Base and so forth. Now, the story is not that it made MTV Base, because that's not important. It's the fact that from the very early age, we made sure we were registered with the pros. He was part of PRS, MCPS, PPL, you know, NASCAP and Grace Note. So immediately, when Shisha Pipe was picked up by MTV Sugar, a big syndicated TV show, I don't know, I mean, Christmas is on Charisma this year, guys, because he's going to make a lot of money just from syncing one record. And this is not the only record that got synced. I think by picking up Shisha Pipe, they then picked up how many other songs? 7 songs from Charisma's catalog. Now, these are songs that radio DJs in Zimbabwe said were crap and didn't want to play them, off NGNG V2. Those records are going to buy me my next Jaguar, I swear to God. The third example that I need to give you is when I signed another young rapper. He's a rapper who young people said was not a rapper, but he's absolutely a rapper, and his name is Titan. Now, Titan is one of the best rappers in Zimbabwe, whether you know it or not, but he's got the ability of writing really incredible songs. Now, with the Titan brand, we have over 7 corporates right now that subsidize his beautiful and lavish lifestyle because he's so good at songwriting, jingle writing, and he's generally a very nice guy. His personality exudes niceness. He's one of the nicest people you know, but the talent is just dope. He's a young man, and we're making a lot of dough with him because he's traveling overseas and making a lot of dough. The last example is one of the most talented Zimbabwean rappers ever, and his name is Junior Brown. Now, with Junior Brown, we discovered quickly that people love his style and stuff, but the first time people resonated with him the most, apart from my drinks, was a song called Tongogara. Now, that was a total left of Junior Brown. We pulled out the guitars, we made it Shonarized, the music was total Shona, and for the first time, Junior Brown in tears in the booth bled his heart. He bled his absolute heart, and everybody, people who didn't, my mother, my wife, everybody for the first time clocked onto this young rapper because he spoke about the truth, the situation in Zimbabwe right now. Zim Hip Hop is purely a macrocosm of a very, very rotten economy, rotten governors and Ponzi schemes and
And
disdainful government.
And you're talking about how he had 7 records that were really dope, but they were not picked up by radio stations.
Yes.
And you're saying they say they were shitty. So what are you trying to? Who then determines? I saw a tweet. Who determines if a record is not good, and what happens?
Well,
maybe Zaza can just talk on the radio side.
Newsbay's trying to cut me off.
No.
Tongo Gara. Newsbay works for the government. Tongo Gara. Despite the fact that Junior Brown got
we want to give everyone a chance to speak first.
I'm nearly done, darling. I'm nearly done. Tongo Gara, despite the fact that Junior Brown ended up getting blackballed off radio, ladies and gentlemen, sold over 5,000 units off WhatsApp, ladies and gentlemen, off WhatsApp. Despite the radio picking it up early on because of its message, they pulled it off because it was too real. But we sold using WhatsApp and EcoCash, right? So this is the 4th examples. Who determines who's dope on radio? Well, I'll let others answer that. But I'm saying, of those 4 examples, you can find many ways of working even in the very constricted system to make money in Zim Hip Hop. Thank you.
Zaza, let's just talk. So Newsbay.